Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I'm Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here, okay? Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. Baby, y'all, we got to talk about Queen Sugar. All right, we have to get together and come in, relax, relate, release as a family and talk about this episode, y'all. This is my review recap for Queen Sugar. Our Senses Restored, Season 7, Episode 7. Child, some things went down in this episode, okay? We had a storm coming, and it was coming figuratively and literally. We had some blast from the past sneaking up, trying to come through and start a whole bunch of mess, child. Foolishness and foolery and trickery, honey. Fighting, arguing. Oh gosh, let's get into it, y'all. It's a lot for us to discuss, okay? I don't know what the drink of the day should be, right? Are we having coffee? Are we having cocoa? Are we having tea? I think we got to pull the tea out, baby, because some tea was being spilt today. Now, y'all, we started out this episode, basically, we see Darla. She's here at the Queen Mill. And we have Billy coming up to her like, we getting a little worried. We got this storm coming that we got to prepare for. We might want to go ahead and send these workers home. We don't want to have no mess going on. And she was like, you hear that? And Darla's basically like, what? And she was like, how is no bugs? There's no birds. There's no noises. We know that the animals are smart and they usually clear out first. She's like, I'm a city girl. But that much I know as far as, country. And so Darla's basically like, yeah, you right. As she stops and listens and she like, we better let everybody, get home. And so we then kind of, just transition to Aunt Vi and her checking in on Joaquin. And we find out that Joaquin is like really over here stressing, worried, really, really bad about his parents. He's like, they've been separated. I haven't heard from my mom. I keep trying to lie to my brother and tell him everything is okay. I don't really know what to say to him. I don't know if my mom is going to end up coming back, if my dad is going to come back, if they're both going to come back at the same time. And then if they do come back, are they going to even, be the same? Are they going to be able to be together, being as though they have been separated for so long? So he got a lot of different thoughts going in through his head at the same time, right? And that is understandable, And so Va's like, wait, hold up, slow down, one thing at a time. First of all, your mother's a fighter. She's going to make it. She's a strong woman and a smart woman. And she was like, you can't carry all this weight alone, okay? That's not what you're supposed to be doing right now. And also, I'm here, to talk and listen to you anytime that you need it. And so basically, that's when he started to tell her about all the other things that's going through his mind. And she's like, whoa, like, buddy, slow up, okay? Slow down. Like, you putting too much on yourself, right? And she basically says to him, worrying is like a heavy task within itself, right? That will take a load on you and that will make the situation even worse than what it is. She was like, worrying ain't doing nothing. It's not helping the situation. What you really need to be doing is staying strong. And she was like, just swipe those worries away. I know it's easier said than done, but try your best. That's what you got to do, okay? And Aunt Vi was definitely spitting, some facts. She told him worrying was a waste of energy, right? And you got to get it in your mind, and put it to what you can do. And the things you can do is focus on getting good grades, be an example for your brother and staying out of trouble. That's what you can do, right? Some things we just can't control. Baby, that was just the best advice that Aunt Vi could give him, right? And she just asked him, like, you think you can handle that? And he was like, yeah, I think so. Now, in the meantime, while they sitting there talking about that, we had moved on to, Hollywood and I'm sorry, no matter of fact, we have moved on to Ralph Angel picking up Micah from this daggone trip, right? And he like, I wonder why you avoiding Nova, right? I know that look and I know the lecture that comes with it, And he says he had his view. And he was like, what exactly happened in LA? He kind of trying to let Micah open up to him. But Micah's like, well, how, LA was weird. And, it's a long story. And so Ralph Angel was like, weird and long, huh? I got you. So he basically was letting him know, like, is it about those gifts or whatever? Did you see your folks while you was out there? He was like, nah, they was out of town. And so Ralph Angel was like, that must have been a relief. And he's like, yeah, I saw it. Like, did you really think I didn't see it? The whole world saw it. Michael over here really thinking he keeping something a secret. So his phone rings and he's like, I gotta take this. And, Ralph Angel was just like, handle your business. And he go ahead to the car. So Micah get on the phone and he talking about, yo, Zane, where are you, man? I've been calling you all day. My card is maxed out. Y'all ran up a daggone building, then got on a damn jet and went to Vegas without me. And he was like, I need, cash out my digital wallet. And Zane talking about the servers are down. And he's like, the servers are down. Stop playing with me. And then, basically hangs up the phone and he's just looking. And so, Ralph Angel like, look, I ain't a damn, scientist or nothing, but I ain't dumb either. You over here talking about jets and maxed out, wallets and all of this. He was like, Shemaiah trying to tell him he got it under control. And Ralph Angel was like, I'm going to tell you this. One thing I know, what I'm saying, in this world is that if you chasing damn money or whatever, it's going to cost you. You know what I'm saying? And so they got the thunder rumbling, and Ralph Angel was like, all right, the storm is coming. I could use your help on the co-op. Now, Micah had the damn nerve to talk about I got to get home. He was like, when's the last time you hung out with me? Just me and you or whatever. He was like, come on, it's going to be fun. Like, hop in, right? He ain't trying to let Micah out of his damn sight. Micah trying to go back to his house and hide out. No, we ain't letting you do that, Mr. Micah, okay? And you got played, right? You played yourself in my DJ Khalil voice because you have no business messing around with Zane and them, okay? And they done took all your damn money, ran off, spending it up, having a funky good time with it, and want to tell you the service is down. And so anyway, he go ahead and he get in the truck with, Ralph Angel, and they go ahead, to go ahead and check everything. Now, in the meantime, we also got Hollywood checking on Vi. He like, stop playing, girl. You ain't got time to be chit-chatting with customers. Do you got everything locked up? Do you got the generator on? Do you make sure the shutters is closed? She's like, yes, my husband, I handled all of that, okay? She's telling him about Percy and Cleo and how cool and nice they are. And he was like, girl, like, I know you ain't sitting here worried about, talking about socializing when we preparing for a damn storm. And she telling him to calm down. She was like, you done been through 90 storms. Why are you stressing so much with this one? And he was like, because climate change is real and things is getting crazier and crazier. That's why. And she says, well, you not wrong. We on our way. Don't worry about it. We're going to be there in a minute. So he was like, okay, let's get going. All right. Put a move on it. Put your foot to the metal already and get the heck on. So he was like, the countdown starts now. You got 20 minutes. She was like, okay. We just basically seeing everybody getting prepared. So then we seeing Hollywood and, Joaquin's little brother there, he's checking on him, and he's like, yeah, this storm is really something, huh? You can see those storms and the clouds brewing or whatever. There's really something to look at. And so he's telling him, let me see. And he's like, yeah, I saw it because, he was trying to hide something in his hand. And he's like, come on, man. I thought we was done with, he was trying to, I should say, hide the scars on his hand. And he was like, I thought we was done with all of that. I thought, we talked about this. And so he's telling him, like, I know you told me to be like Bruce Lee and all of that, but it's not working, right? He was like, people just keep messing with me. They keep bothering me. Nobody likes me. And Hollywood was kind of telling him, like, I used to go through that stuff too when I was a kid, all right? People used to mess with me. They used to tease me. They used to bother me. And he like, you? Like, nah, I don't believe that. And Hollywood was like, yeah. And he says some things that he used to actually try to do is be funny. And of course, he's like, be funny like Richard Pryor. And, he looking at him like, who? And he was like, I know not telling me that you don't know who the original, king of comedy is. And I said, now, Hollywood, damn well this little boy don't know who no daggone, Richard Pryor is. Because he was saying he used to like land, on their funny bone. And he was asking him, does he know how to do that? And he was saying no. And so he over here talking about he gonna sneak and show him Sunset Boulevard. I said, no, you didn't. Right, or Live on Sunset. I know I got the daggone VHS tape of it in here. I know what he talking about. And so he basically like, don't tell on Vi, okay, that I'm showing this to you. I said, no, you not gonna show that boy that, okay? So he was like, it's something that could basically keep us laughing, and we gonna have a good old laugh, and you gonna see what I'm talking about or whatever, right? But don't tell Aunt Vi, because then she gonna have, get on both of us, and I don't want to hear her mouth. And so I'm advising here talking about, I got 7 minutes to get home or whatever, or Hollywood gonna kill me. At this point, she's checking on Nova, and Nova's like, yeah, I pretty much got everything straight. I got everything that I need. It's just one more thing that I'm gonna go out here and check on. And so she tells her to make sure she gives her a call back so she's not gonna be worried. And Nova's just like, yeah, my storm windows is good, my generator's good, I got water. And so she said she just was gonna check on the windows again. And Aunt Va says, okay, be careful. Child, why Nova go and open up this daggone door and Calvin is out here? I said, Calvin, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Of course, Nova or stuck in shock or whatever, right? So he talking about hi Nova, and eventually she does open up her mouth and was like, hi Calvin, what are you doing here? And he gonna talk about something that he was just driving past. Okay, I said, yeah, okay, he just so happened to be in town. He was driving past and he wanted to make sure, since the storm was coming, that her windows and stuff was boarded up good. And she was like, you should not be here, right? I don't want you here. And I appreciated hearing her say, I don't want you here. But he gonna talk about some, can he at least just check the house real quick? And she basically was like, I guess, yeah, he could go ahead and do that, right? I said, whatever, Calvin, okay, whatever. And it kills me because I see a lot of people on Twitter that apparently are talking about some, this is the love of daggone Nova life and rooting for him. I said, whatever, okay, not here, okay? That is not my opinion of the situation at all. But moving right along, Darla is there by herself now, and she's with Baby True. She calls and leaves Ralph Angel a message telling him to be careful while he's driving or whatever. And that she might have been like overdoing it or whatever, but she sent all the workers home, and she's home now, and she thanks him so much for taking good care of them, and she loves him, and drive home safely. So not even a minute after she hangs up, the phone ring, and she thinking it's Ralph Angel calling back. She's like, that was fast. Did you get my message? And she's hearing Chase talking about, no, I didn't get any message because you've been busy ignoring me, Darla. And she was like, Chase, listen, I'm gonna tell you this one last time. Stop calling me. Do not call this number again. I don't want to talk to you. I'm warning you, okay? If you don't stop calling this number, you're going to regret it. And she hangs up. Now, before she's hanging up, he's like, Darla, we need to. But she's basically like, click, okay? And then she's just like, oh, And I'm like, Darla, obviously that's not working. You already told him a couple times to stop calling, and he's still calling. Now, in the meantime, Ralph Angel go ahead and drive over to the land, that they lost, where the house was at. And of course, the Landrys is not taking care of it. They don't care. They ain't making sure it's boarded up. You seeing the boards coming all loose. So Ralph Angel was like, the Landrys don't care about nobody but theyself. And he was like, help me fix this up real quick. And Michael was like, shouldn't we just go back home? This is kind of crazy. And Ralph Angel was like, this is my home, okay? Regardless of whether he lost it or not, you know how Ralph feels about the farm. And he ain't going to leave it there and let it just get messed up. So they go ahead and they boarding it up or whatever. And, he basically ends up telling Micah, like, let's go in, let's stay for a minute. We can't drive through this or whatever the case may be. Because Micah was still trying to be like, let's get going. So they go ahead inside for a minute or whatever, right? And Micah's just looking like, oh, man, he just want to go home. But Ralph Angel is telling him he's not going to drive in this. Now, Billy come on over to Sandy's, right? Apparently, she had promised her father that she would check in on Sandy, make sure everything okay. Man, Sandy said, I got some gumbo, all right? I got some sandwiches and slaw for when the power go out. I got some gumbo for now while we still got the power. She was like, the only thing that I didn't get to do is check the generator or whatever the case may be and make sure that that is working right. And, apparently Prosper took this weekend to go visit his friend. So she was like, I wish he was here. But, Billy, like, I'm here with you. So when she had brung up the generator, Billy was about to go down to that. But she was like, Benny had came over or whatever because your daddy called him and he's handling it. And we see Benny turning around and she looking shocked to see him. He looking shocked to see her. He telling her, her, I thought you was in New Orleans. She said, I was, but I promised my daddy that I would come here and check on Miss Sandy. So, until he got back in town, and he was like, oh, well, same, I promised I would check on her too. So he was like, well, it's good to see you. It's been a minute, all right? And, they giving each other the googly eyes or whatever. So Sandy told him, since you here, you might as well get comfortable and have a bowl of gumbo. And he was like, you ain't got to tell me twice, all right? And Billy just looking so awkward or whatever. And Sandy like, y'all go ahead and sit down. So now Hollywood and, Joaquin and little brother, they all chilling watching TV. But Joaquin is looking out of it. And Hollywood was like, what's going on over there, boy, or whatever? And, his little brother basically was letting Hollywood know, like, yeah, he doesn't do too good in storms, but he was like, he's strong, he could weather any storm, and they just continue watching TV. But Joaquin actually gets up, and he's literally having a panic attack, having a hard time breathing, and, it's Va who notices it, and is like, breathe, it's okay, calm down, or whatever, right? It's like he was spaced out for a minute, and he wasn't even hearing Va, so then he finally hears her, and he starts, to breathe slow and sit down, and he just talks about how this has gotten worse over these last few years or whatever, right? He always didn't like it or whatever, but it's definitely gotten worse. And he was like, especially ever since, which I had forgot about that, his uncle is the one that died on the daggone farm that they end up finding his body. And so I guess that makes it even worse for him, when there's a storm, which is understandable. And he could think about, the night that his father went out trying to look for him, and it was so bad that night and all of that. And so he was like, I never seen my father so worried before. And so Aunt Va was just telling him, like, that should have never happened. That's so horrible. It happened here on our farm. It was a tragedy. And she was like, none of us will ever forget it. We all have to live with that. But as bad as, things were that came out of that night, it also was some good things that were there. And she says, the border loans are always going to be able to come through any type of storm, right? And when your family gets back or whatever, one or both of them, all of them, however which way it go, we are going to be right here with them. We'll figure out, where they're going to live and all of that kind of stuff. We will work that out too. And so she is just trying to be as positive as she can be and tell them that, their lives are intertwined. And, like I said, horrible things happen, but there is some good that came out of it too. And she's like, do you understand? And he was like, yeah. And she just gave him like a big old hug. And he seemed like he really needed it. And I love seeing that dynamic and just how great Hollywood and her are with the boys, and it really does seem like they was the ones that was meant to be there for them. Now, in the meantime, we get Calvin and Nova here in this daggone house, child. I really could have did without this, but I guess one point or another, they was gonna have to face each other. Nova come over and bring him some daggone coffee that she done made, and she basically is just standing there looking at him or whatever. And he want to sit here and talk about, how much he missed her. He liked what she did with the place, She said, yeah, I moved some things around. He was like, yeah, I wasn't here, whatever the case may be. And he's like, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. And she was like, yeah, you did. And to be honest, what I'm saying? That is true. And she was like, I don't even want to have this conversation. And he was like, yeah, you mean a conversation about us? She's like, yeah, a conversation about us, because there is no us. I said, yes, Nova, let him know. Okay. She says, there's no us no more. That's gone. That's the past. We've done this all before. We've been here before. Every, couple of daggone months, years, whatever, the world stops and we get into each other's arms. You forgive me, I forgive you. We run back and forth. And he was like, well, my world does stop when I see you. She was like, nah, 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 nah. Okay. And he talking about some, please don't give up. She said, give up. I said, give up. She talking about, I'm already done. I said, listen, buddy, give up what? She's talking about some, we tried that or whatever, right? But in the midst, her phone ringing, it's Aunt Va checking on her, and she's telling her, yeah, she okay. She looking at him the whole time while she talking, because Aunt Va was like, what's going on, girl? You were supposed to call me and let me know you got home safe, and I haven't heard anything. And Aunt Va's like, I'm fine. So she was like, holler at me if you need anything. She's like, yes, I will. And I just was still confused as to why Calvin was still here. I said, girl, you are better than me, because I would have never let him in to begin with, okay? But I guess because this storm is going over, we supposed to sit here and let him wait until, it calms down, And so he over here just still with the, I love you, I missed you, I thought about you every single day and all of that. My heart skips a beat when I see you, la da dee, la da da, do do do. Okay, and so he like, well, you didn't even miss me? And she's like, yeah, I missed you. Of course I missed you. He over here talking about ever. And Nova had the tears in her eyes. She had the look, honey. She had it down pack, okay? Because that is how you feel. Sometimes those feelings will come fluttering back when it's that person that you care so much about and they coming back from the past. But at the end of the day, did you really expect for her life to be on hold? And on top of that, knowing what you went to jail for, knowing what you admitted to doing, like, are we really forgetting about that? And are we forgetting that the whole beginning part of your relationship with her, you were a married man? Like, are we really doing that? So it was irking me, y'all. But nonetheless, we have Darla here. Ralph Angel calls and checks on her. He's letting her know that he's there at the house and he's more than likely gonna have to, sit there for the night. And he was like, at the same time, he feel bad about, leaving them there, but he actually feels good to be back at the house, even if it's just for one night. And she's like, yeah, I could tell by that big smile. And she told him, go ahead, take it in for a minute, all right? Have your fill. And she was like, I'm just here with baby Blue. We, chilling out or whatever the case may be, right? And she's showing him her and stuff like that. She all in her little bouncy chair. She telling him they are more than prepared or whatever for whatever's gonna come down. And that was pretty much it. He was telling her like, there go my ladies, that's the real heaven right there. And so they just say I love you to each other and they hang up. And so child, now, him and Micah's just staying there trying to weather it out. And Sandy and Miss Billy is over here bonding a little bit. Benny is still working on the generator. And Sandy and Billy is just basically, she like, girl, you sweet on him, okay? I see the way you looking at him and he looking at you. And she was like, well, maybe a little bit, he is cute. I'm not going to act like he's not or whatever. But she said, right now I'm trying to focus on me. And Sandy was like, I can understand that. And Sandy was also just talking to her about, her friends and her relationships that she had, and Billy was telling her she could never get used to this, whether she rather be, shoving in snow in Chicago. She was like, how you stay so calm? And she was like, girl, you just listen and you relax, let me show you. And Billy was saying how she do remember something that her mother used to say as far as listening to the rain and hearing, God's her secrets. And she was like, well, what secrets are you hearing right now? She was like, girl, just rain, okay? I don't hear nothing else. And she was saying she misses her mom, but at the same time, sometimes she finds herself so angry with her still because she did not believe her when it came to what was his name? Jimmy Dean, Jimmy Earl. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? She didn't really listen to her with that. So at the same time, she sometimes holds a lot of anger with her mom, right? And that's the part that, messes her up. And she was like, you really have to let that go. She says nobody is perfect. Everything, because Billy was saying things would have been different. She would have never left. They could have spent a lot more time together. And so she feels like mixed feelings when it comes to that. And Miss Sandy was just like telling her, like, girl, you can't really hold on to that. You got to let that go. She was like, everybody falls short one time or another. Remember the beautiful qualities about her, the good thoughts about her, and concentrate on that and the things that she taught you and use those today or whatever the case may be. And she was like, and about listening to the God in the rain, that is beautiful. And so, Miss Sandy also said to her, like, she don't have her parents and she don't really have no close friends. She never got to have children. So she was like, there's something I wanted to ask you. And, Billy's like, what's going on? She was like, I wanted to know if you would be my maid of honor. And Billy just was like, I would be honored, So I thought that was really cute and special that they got to spend this quality time during this storm, get to know each other better outside of Prosper, just have that one-on-one conversation. And, she tells Billy, like, I'm really glad that we have each other. So that was cute. Now, in the meantime, the kids done went to sleep. Hollywood is like, how the heck these daggone kids could sleep through this? And, Vaught was like, listen, Joaquin, he done had a rough day today. Today was really hard on him. And Hollywood was like, wow, what's going on? She told him it was very emotional. So she starts to say he was really doing a lot of worrying about all the unknowns, about his folks coming back, about the fact that his uncle, died in the storm. He had a lot of hard questions and she felt really bad. And she just tried to answer as best as she could. And Hollywood was saying he felt like they came to them, like it was all meant to be. And she said, yeah, that's what I said to him. And he was like, what did he say to that? And she was like, well, I hope that he felt my heart. And he was like, trust me, anybody, that's loved by you, Va, they gonna feel it and they gonna know. So she was basically telling Hollywood, like, well, yeah, there's some other things that I want to get to know, okay? And he was like, really? In this storm? She was like, yep, this the perfect time and I can make all the noise that I want to. I said, I know that was right, Miss Va, get it on, girl. Okay, not mad at you at all. And so in the meantime, Calvin is here telling, Nova he's sorry. He heard about the farm. And she was like, I have faith that we gonna get it back, but I appreciate it or whatever. And he was like, look, I wanted to call, but I didn't know if my call would be welcome. And she was like, more than likely it wouldn't have been. Okay, probably not. She was like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that to hurt you. I'm saying that because that's my truth. Okay, and I'm just telling it to you. She basically was like, we tried. Like, yes, I've missed you. Yes, I loved you. And I thought about you now and then. But when it's all said and done, what we had is basically over. You know what I mean? And I had to face the facts. And so she was like, that love we had for each other for a time is gone. We tried to turn love into an actual life more than once, more than twice, and it just was not happening, And so she was like, we are meant for one another, okay? And I was shocked and very proud of Miss Nova, if I may say so myself. She said, I've made peace with it or whatever, right? But I was still waiting like, Nova, I haven't once heard you say, I got a man. He over here talking about he have this recurring dream of them sitting together outside on a damn porch. I said, Calvin, I don't give a damn about you and your dreams. I'm sorry, I just don't. Like, yeah, you nice to look at and all of that. He talking about some we old and gray and still in love. And he was like, I don't think I can make peace with that. I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, that is your problem. He's talking about this story that keep repeating in his head. So now at this point, she getting text from Dominic where he's like, I know it's some storms coming your way. Please stay safe, baby. And she's letting him know, like, yes, I am. I will. I'm sorry, can't talk right now. Now is not a good time. So he's basically like, are you seeing somebody? Yes, Calvin, she's seeing somebody, and she tells him, yes, I am. Yes, I am. What about it? Okay. And so he looking all heartbroken or whatever to find that out. Is he good to you? She said, yes, he is. Do you love him? Yes, I do. He's talking about as much as I love you. She said, listen, he gonna say, well, you could send me out the door. She said, I can't send you out in the storm. I said, I was thinking like, yeah, I'm Nova. Actually, you can. You can, okay? Because I don't owe you no explanation and I don't owe you or you don't deserve to have me sit around and wait on you. Like, did you really think she just had her life on pause? People be killing me. It's the audacity for me. Now, that is realistic because a lot of people be thinking you really supposed to sit around and wait on them. And so moving on along from that, now he really look heartbroken like, oh, damn, I don't got a chance. You actually seeing somebody. So he gonna talk about some help me. Help me to move on. I don't know how to do it. Help me. I said, boy, you better ask God to help you, okay? Because there ain't nothing I could do. He moving in all close, and I thought she was going to fall for a thing because, baby, he was all up on her. So now, in the meantime, we get, Ralph Angel and Micah, they there in the house waiting, and the storm is just getting worse. So they like, we gonna have to be here. And somebody starts knocking. He was like, should we answer? He was like, we not even supposed to be here. But you hear the person just saying, please, I'm not from here. Can you let me in? So I said, no, the hell. Ralph Angel was like, hold on. He was like, not from around here. So he go ahead and he opened up the door. And, this person who we find out is Chase raggedy ass, and of all the doors for him to knock on, he just so happens to knock on this. He over here talking about, because Ralph was like, you by yourself? He was like, yes. He was like, letting him know, like, come on in. And he basically tells him, like, yo, it's insane out here. I seen y'all truck outside or whatever the case may be. He asking them, do they live here? And they was like, nah, we just using it for shelter. So he was like, well, lucky me that I stumbled across y'all. And they did pick a daggone, good actor as far as the guy Chase, because he do look like Blue. Okay, that looks just like how Blue would grow up to look when he freaking grown. And so he lets them know, like, I'm Chase. So I'm like, oh, Dollar. See, this is why I said, girl, that you should have freaking let him know what was going on. So now in the meantime, we still had Calvin sitting there wanting to cry his crocodile tears to Nova. And we have Darla telling the baby true about how strong they are, and then the woman in their family that, is, and how she's going to be a strong woman when she grow up or whatever the case may be. And we have Chase sitting here talking up to Mike about, being a frat man. And so when Ralph walks back in the room, he was like, oh, we just trading stories about, college or whatever. What damage did you do in college? And Ralph is like, I didn't go to college. And he was like, well, cool. It's not for everyone. He was like, I'm sure you got plenty country tale. And Ralph like, nah, that ain't really me. And, he talking about some my bad, no disrespect. So he was like, but with everything that goes on now, times has changed. You can't get it in like that no more. He was like that Me Too movement. And so Micah's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I mean, like the passion and the zest and all of this. And he started to talk about, going to a party in college and having drunk girls come over, and how different people would, accuse you of things. And he's like, yo, check it. Like right now is this girl that want to be out here accusing me of daggone rape and talking about some baby. So, I mean, first of all, this is a small damn town. Ralph Angel knows what Darla freaking went through. And he probably could look in this man's face and see blue inside of his face. So at this point, Ralph Angel like, who? What you said about rape? What you was talking about rape, huh? He's standing up or whatever. And he like, what girl? What girl is it that you talking about? And then Micah looking mad confused, like, what the heck is going on? It didn't take Ralph Angel long at all to put 2 and 2 together. So he talking about how he got his wife and his kids, and he running for office now, and how this person is going around saying that he raped her and that her kid is mine. And so Ralph stood up and said, what girl you talking about? Is her name Darla? Is we talking about Darla? The one that you said raped you? That was Darla. And freaking Mike is like, what? Whoa, what's going on? Standing up. And Ralph Angel he talking about something, let me explain, all right. And then, Ralph was like, this is the piece of shit that raped Darla. And he just was like, boom, 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 okay? Ralph was on their ass. I was like, yeah, who comes knocking at a stranger's door and start talking and admitting, talking about what they being accused of to people that they don't even know, that you supposedly want to keep this on a hush, and you running for Congress? I'm confused. And so he started whipping on his behind. And Michael was trying to calm it down and separate them. And he's telling Ralph Angel, yo, you will go to jail. Like, you don't need to go to jail for nothing like this. And he was like, why he didn't tell me about, this and what was going on? And Micah's telling him, because she probably knew that you was going to get upset and be fighting and going crazy like this, right? And that is true. That's exactly why she didn't want to tell him that, because she didn't want to jeopardize anything, right? And Micah keeps trying to separate them and keep trying to tell, Ralph to chill. And he keeps telling homeboy to shut up. And he's still trying to talk, thinking that it's helping him when it's not. And of course, eventually, they had to just be like, Ralph had to just shove him out in the door and back into the storm and the rain, like, work it out. Keep it moving, okay? Because he told him, like, I know these parts. You said you wasn't from around here, right? So pretty much I could go and put your, your body in any field around here, okay? And have these waters run deep. And basically your ass would be covered up, and they probably would never find you, or find you sometime down the, later or whatever. So I say, yo, Chase, you better get your ass up out of there, boy. Okay, you better get your ass up out of there. So Micah does, like I said, once Ralph, push him out or whatever. He gets to calm down for a minute. I know Michael was like, why the hell did I have to end up here? Like, I'm already stressed. My money is gone. I'm going through it. Got to face my parents. And now I got to go through this too. But that wasn't nothing but God at the same time that let Michael be there, because had he not been there, Ralph probably really would have had a damn dead man on his hands, right? And he would have ended up in jail. And at the end of the day, none of us want to see that for Ralph, you know? So he got ahead and he pushed him out. You know, Chase is like, okay, okay, okay. So Ralph is asking Micah, like, how the hell could she, you know what I'm saying, know something, do something like this and not tell me? He was like, I knew something was off. I knew something was off. And he, you know, Micah's telling him, like, she was trying to protect you. He said, protect me from what? That man knows my son. What if he goes and tries to take Blue from me, huh? Then what? You know, and he basically punches the wall. He all sweaty. Micah all sweaty. They all looking out of breath and frustrated. And he just kind of just walks off and goes into the dark. And Micah's just standing there looking like, oh, Father, okay. So finally the storm has passed. It has cleared up. You know, we got Calvin talking about the storm really is over. You know, Nova's telling him, yeah, the sun is shining. And, you know, Calvin just wanted to stand here, y'all. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I don't remember what the hell he said, but he told her some story. And she was like, that's a nice story to remember, you know. Basically, this was the close of their chapter. I guess the closure that they needed to get. And, you know, she had told him that she appreciated it or whatever and was glad that they was able to have this talk. And they basically, you know, went ahead and hugged each other. And, finally, that chapter is closed and we could basically say goodbye to him. You know, she just ended up watching him, you know, go ahead and walk away or whatever, right? Out the damn door. And I said, goodbye, good riddance. I'm sorry, but, you know, my days of wanting her to be with Calvin is over. All right. Bad enough that Charlie had ended back up with damn, I can't even remember, freaking Micah's daddy name right now. Okay. Put it in the comments. But that was basically the episode, y'all. That was the episode. This is getting real good, real interesting. We're going to have a lot of stuff going down for the next one, y'all. So put it in the comments. What did y'all think about this? Okay, what did y'all think about this? Let's discuss, let's discuss, let's discuss. Like, comment, share, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. If you are so inclined, give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Till next time, y'all. Toodaloo. Oh, and make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I don't know if I said that.